Number 11. Akbar Salubiro. Residents of a remote village on Indonesia's West Sulawesi Island became concerned when Akbar Salubiro went missing. He'd gone to harvest palm oil from a plantation near his home, but when he didn't return, the 25-year-old's friends and relatives started searching for him. It wasn't long before they found an enormous reticulated python in Salubiro's garden. The snake was more than 23 feet long and looked as if it had just eaten a big meal. The search party feared the worst and started slicing open the python's stomach with an 18-inch knife. As they did so, Salubiro's lifeless body was revealed, much to the horror of everyone present. The remains were oddly intact, as the snake had swallowed the man whole after constricting him. Because of shoulder width, most pythons would struggle with swallowing humans whole, since it's too much even for their highly flexible jaws. Still, given enough time to properly squeeze the bones, exceptionally large pythons may succeed. Number 10. Shark Arm Case. This is a captivating murder mystery that started with a tiger shark at an Australian aquarium in April of 1935. Within a week of being put on display at the Coogee Aquarium Baths, the shark fell ill and vomited in front of a crowd. Afterwards, an arm that had a distinctive tattoo was left floating in the water. The limb had actually been swallowed by a smaller shark, which was then devoured by the tiger shark. The arm was later identified as belonging to former boxer and small-time criminal James "Jim" Smith, who'd been missing since April the 7th. In addition to being connected to some figures of the criminal underworld, Smith was also a police informant. This made him a target for assassination. During the investigation, Smith's former partner had agreed to cooperate with the police, but he was later found dead in his car, shot 3 times at close range. No one was ever convicted of Smith's murder, and the shark arm case, which remains unsolved, became legendary in Australia's legal history. Number 9. Remains found inside saltwater croc. The South Alligator River in Australia's Northern Territory owes its fear-inducing name to a historical misinterpretation of its native animals. There are no alligators in the river, as it's actually inhabited by the larger and more aggressive saltwater crocodile. In the summer of 2014, at Kakadu National Park, an elderly man was snatched from a boat by one of the beasts. The attack happened right in front of his family, and the massive reptile was close to 16 feet long. When saltwater crocs get to such proportions, they're virtually unchallenged by any predator in their habitat. As rangers were searching for the unnamed 62-year-old, they shot and killed 2 crocodiles. One of them had mangled human remains in its stomach, which DNA analysis subsequently connected to the missing man. Number 8. James Bartley. After James Bartley died, the words on his tombstone read, "A modern-day Jonah." This is his rather incredible story, which, although disputed, is nevertheless fascinating. At some point during the late 19th century, Bartley's whaling boat was attacked by a sperm whale off the Falkland Islands. During the cetacean's onslaught, Bartley ended up in the whale's mouth and was swallowed whole. The whale later died of constipation and was caught by Bartley's peers. It was hot, and the men decided to skin the whale so that its meat wouldn't rot. As they cut the animal open, the whalers were stunned to find Bartley inside, still alive. It's said that he'd spent 36 hours inside the whale. The gastric juices had bleached his skin and he was blind for the rest of his life, but he'd survived. According to some reports, Bartley returned to work only a few weeks after he'd been cut out of the whale. The veracity of his story has been questioned. A sperm whale is the largest of the toothed cetaceans and is quite capable of swallowing a human being whole. However, they'd more likely drown or suffocate in the animal's stomach. Number 7. Watiba. This is another python attack that ended with the serpent swallowing a human whole. Much like in the case of Akbar Salubiro, the victim also hailed from Sulawesi, Indonesia. In June of 2018, Watiba disappeared while checking on her vegetable garden. Villagers mounted a search and they found the woman's sandals and machete a day later. Nearby, the search party also found a giant reticulated python with a bloated belly. They believed that the lethargic beast had swallowed Tiba, so they killed it and carried it out of the garden. The snake was then eviscerated in front of a large crowd. The villagers' suspicions were confirmed as Tiba's lifeless but otherwise intact body was found inside the snake. Constriction cuts off the victim's circulation, depriving the brain of oxygen. While the python can kill its prey rather rapidly, digestion of a large meal can take a long time, and usually leaves the slow-moving snake vulnerable. This is why the animal is never far from where the victim was last seen. Number 6. Michael Ford. Police in Polk County, Florida were called to a Mosaic phosphate mine after one employee had seen an alligator with its jaws still clamped on a human body. It was spotted in a canal on company grounds. The victim was subsequently identified as 45-year-old Michael Ford II. Officers from the Florida Fish and Wildlife Commission, who had been called to the scene, were successful in trapping and killing the gator. The beast was about 12 feet long and weighed an estimated 450 pounds, meaning it was about 3 times heavier than a beer keg. The gator was dissected and the contents of its stomach revealed one of Ford's hands as well as one of his feet. It remained unclear what the man was doing on Mosaic company grounds in the first place and whether he drowned before being eaten by the gator. Number 5. Hand found inside shark. In the fall of 2019, a tiger shark was captured and killed off the French island of Réunion near Madagascar. The shark was considered a threat to beachgoers as it had been seen swimming dangerously close to the shore. The animal was cut open and inside its stomach a severed hand was found. The victim still had his wedding ring on. It was later determined that the hand belonged to a Scottish tourist who'd been reported missing by his wife. The man, described as a strong swimmer, had disappeared after entering the water. His grief-stricken wife subsequently recognized the wedding band that had been found on the severed hand. Number 4. Ricky Gagne. On July the 26th of 2020, teenager Ricky Gagne disappeared while looking for snails near a river in the Tanjung Manis district of Malaysia. His family filed out a missing persons report, but Gagne's aunt had reportedly seen him get snatched from the shore by a massive saltwater crocodile. The reptile had clamped its jaws on the teen's leg and then dragged him underwater. Within a week, the 15-foot-long crocodile was caught by search and rescue teams who'd used the chicken as bait. The beast was cut open in front of Gagne's family and the police. According to the authorities, several human body parts and clothing items were recovered from inside the crocodile. Gagne's family took his remains back to their village so that they could organize a funeral. Number 3. Finger inside snapping turtle. In June of 2018, an unnamed man from Louisiana had caught an alligator snapping turtle and was preparing the animal. Inside the turtle's stomach, he was shocked to find a human finger. Aside from a massive dinosaur-like shell, alligator snapping turtles have a ferocious bite that can easily sever digits. After making the grim discovery, the man called the police. The authorities tried to use fingerprint analysis to find out who the digit belonged to but were unsuccessful. Hospitals in the area didn't report any injury that would have explained the mysterious finger. One theory is that the turtle had been illegally kept as an exotic pet and that it attacked its owner, who in turn abandoned the animal in the river. Number 2. Andy Esso Erang. In 2018, on the island of Borneo, the search for Andy Esso Erang concluded after the man's body was found floating in a river. The 36-year-old palm oil plantation worker was missing an arm and a leg. An enormous 20-foot-long saltwater crocodile was spotted nearby. The beast was killed, and Erang's missing limbs were discovered inside its stomach. The massive croc had more likely drowned Erang than death roll to break off his arm and leg, which it then swallowed whole. A death roll is a ruthless attack that most croc species are known to unleash. The jaws of a 20-foot saltwater croc are basically inescapable. Once it clamps on, the beast begins to twist its body, ravaging the victim's bones, tendons, and tissues, completely tearing off large portions of the body. Should the croc's victim still be alive, the pain they'd experience would be excruciating.
Official They Will Kill You merchandise is now available at theywillkillyou.com. Some of it is to die for.
Number 1. Skull found inside tiger shark. One of the most gruesome incidents to have occurred in recent years involved an enormous tiger shark and horribly mangled, partially digested human remains. In October of 2014, fishermen in the Philippines caught the tiger shark and cut it open. What they found inside, however, filled them with horror. A foul odor rose through the air as the shark's stomach revealed a leg and a human head. The victim remained unidentified, but it could have been one of 2 passengers who'd gone missing after a ferry had sunk in the area a month prior. The fishermen only kept the shark's head and fins, throwing the rest of it in the water. After the beast's jaw dried up in the sun, it was measured at about 1.5 feet in diameter. A shark expert argued that judging by the jaw, the beast could have weighed up to a staggering 1,300 pounds. Knowing it had taken a human life, one of the fisherman's wives wouldn't even look at the jaw, fearing that the spirit of the victim might haunt her family. Thanks for watching. Would you rather be swallowed alive by a blue whale or face an entire spotted hyena clan? Let us know in the comments section below.